Hello! It's time for a VoteMD.info video. And this is going to be my last one for a little while. I'm going to be doing some traveling. I might have a couple before the election. Who knows? I don't know my exact schedule. But I just want to get right into it and talk about a letter to the editor of the Baltimore Sun. It's called "The Mayor Walks on the Absurd Side of the Street." And it's about how Mayor Stephanie Rawlings-Blake just, she walked around the harbor with the police guarding her. And the first line here says a lot. First paragraph, excuse me. "I really do try to think the best of Mayor Stephanie Rawlings-Blake. As, for instance, when I voted for her in the 2012 election." All right. Two problems with this, and I'm sure this guy's a great guy. He cares about Baltimore, but there are two things that reveal some of the problems that Baltimore politics have. First of all, he says he voted for her in the 2012 election. No, it was a 2011 election. I mean, anyway, that's a minor thing, I guess. But he says he tries to think the best of the mayor. Why? What? She's been in office since 1995. That's when she was first elected to city council. I mean, why are you going to think the best of her? She's already put everything out there about her that you need to know in terms of politics. She's, I mean, almost 20 years she's been out there politically. So everything else that you're going to write here, it should never have been a surprise. She is who she is. Mayor Rawlings-Blake has lost touch, is out of touch, and is beyond the reach of any of us regular citizens. But, I mean, she's lost touch? Just now she's lost touch? She didn't just lose touch now. I mean, she's been in office since 1995. Her father was a big political player, Pete Rawlings, in Baltimore, and was worshipped. She grew up in a political house. She's a politician. And you know what? I'm not gonna sit here and pick on her because she's not the only one. There are people that are much worse than her. That are you're saying she's out of touch? You know, I've talked about people who are literally crazy who are in the House of Delegates. Frank, who wrote crazy books at least, right? Frank Conway Jr.'s crazy book. I mean, there's some people who don't even, you know, you say, you know, she's not connected to the people. Okay, maybe she's not connected to the people, but you know she lives in the city. There's representatives who say they live one place and they actually live in another place. There are plenty of politicians that don't walk around the city of Baltimore. I mean, this is standard. I mean, she's just a regular Baltimore politician. Why should you be surprised that she needs to have police escorts walking her around the harbor? And to tell you the truth, you're going to write in and complain about this. At least she's in Baltimore this weekend. Many weekends she goes on trips to Vegas or Texas to improve her own political career. At least she's in Baltimore, and she's not the only one who wants to move up in the world. There are other. I've told you about the O'Malley machine. There are plenty of people who want to move up in the world, and their main thing is them. They want to make money. I mean, they want to improve their standing in politics. Anyway, despite all these things I've just said, everything's out in the open about her. The same people keep voting for the same people over and over again. And we get the same results. So this is not a new thing here, having police escorts walking you around the harbor. Having politicians think they're high and mighty. And I don't know if she thinks that way, but clearly some people think she's acting that way. But anyway, most of our leaders are just like her. And to show you how bad it's actually gotten, in the 45th district in the state Senate race, Julius Henson, who is like one of the dirtiest political players in the game, is going against Nathaniel McFadden, who's a very controversial figure. And that's it. That's what the people have to pick from. It's come down to this. So I think my basic political beliefs are this. we can't rely on our leaders. We have a whole city that thinks our leaders are going to solve things. And clearly these people have demonstrated that they can't solve a thing. And there's some bad dudes out there in politics and in Baltimore politics. I believe that, Baltimore, maybe we should experiment in anarchy or something. Because it doesn't get much worse than McFadden against Henson there. And, at least we wouldn't have to pay anyone for our own destruction. Again, these people get into politics. They want pensions. They want salaries for doing as little as possible. And maybe we don't need politicians anymore. At the very least, we as the citizens of Baltimore need to solve our own problems and stop relying on who is voted in by the people who live in Lakeview Towers and who have no idea what's going on in the world. So, young people, start your own businesses, start your own movements, try to not rely on these elected officials. Vote against them as much as possible. Vote. I encourage people to vote and try to change the system. But obviously in Baltimore, obviously most of the voters have no idea what's going on, are going to vote for a last name, and are going to vote for people who have demonstrated for 20 years that, they're just politicians. This should come as no surprise to you, anything you see out there, because everyone's got a track record. And, again, I feel bad for this guy. He said he voted for her. So this is what you get. You really shouldn't complain. If you didn't vote for these people, I feel bad for you. I didn't vote for the people in office. And I have to pay the price in many, many different, mostly financial ways. We're paying for it. So have a good one, everyone. Hopefully I will talk to you soon. If not, vote against the incumbents as much as possible. Have a good one.